Please welcome to the stage Osama Dorias and Rami Ismail.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rami Ismail.
And I'm Osama Dorias.
And since 2021, the two of us have a games podcast called the Habibis, together with our third member, our dear Habibi, Fawzi Mesmar. And we wanted to explain to you for a moment why we agree with all of our games industry peers that chose Fawzi as the 2024 recipient of the Game Developer's Choice Ambassador Award. When I started in games development, I was not aware of any other Arab game developers. I'd simply never met one, nor had I ever seen an Arab name in the credits of any game. As I was growing up, I'd seen more Chris's and Johns in the code department of a single video game than I'd seen Arab credit lines in my entire lifetime.
I've been making games my entire life, from card games and board games when I was 9 years old, to eventually learning how to make games in Flash in my teens. But I had never considered a career in video games until I saw another Arab become a game designer.
And that makes the dream of making games feel impossible for kids like us, because surely if it was possible, I'd have heard of other people with names like ours doing it. So with that in mind, it feels deeply remarkable to be standing here tonight as an Iraqi and an Egyptian to celebrate a Jordanian's efforts to make the global games industry a better place. Through my own career, I've come to believe that one of the greatest acts of resistance of our stereotype as Arabs and Middle Eastern people being the bad people, that one of the greatest acts of resistance that we have against primarily being represented as cannon fodder and bombing targets, that one of the greatest acts of resistance that we have against these horrors then playing out in real life, day after day in our lands, in our region, to our people, in Gaza, one of the greatest acts of resistance we have as minorities against this dehumanization is simply to exist loudly. That one of the greatest acts of resistance as a minority in any space is to thrive.
And boy, has Fawzi been thriving. From his humble roots, being a part of the very first game development team in Jordan, to working on so many incredible games, including a Mario game. Not many of us can say that we've worked on a Mario game.
I will never forget Fawzi's excitement at getting to work at a Mario game. Best, that's not what we're here to celebrate. The Game Developer's Choice Awards define the Ambassador Awards as honoring an individual or individuals who have helped the games industry advance to a better place, either through facilitating a better game community from within or by reaching outside the industry to be an advocate for video games and help further our art.
And who better to commemorate with this award than the very person who literally wrote the book on video games in Arabic. The first and only comprehensive Arabic language resource, bringing our beloved craft to an entire segment of the human population for whom that knowledge was completely out of reach. Fawzi actually had to invent new Arabic words to describe game design ideas and concepts that simply don't exist in Arabic. As the Arabic proverb goes, إن تحدثت إلى رجل بلغته يفهمها ستصل إلى رأسه وإذا تحدثت إليه بلغته ستصل إلى قلبه. If you talk to someone in a language that they understand, it will reach their head. But if you talk to them in their own language, it will reach their heart.
And in the many languages he speaks, Fawzi has been a mentor, a teacher, an advocate, an ambassador to the medium, and to the people that make games in every country he's worked in. And mind you, Fawzi's journey in games has taken him from Jordan to New Zealand, from Japan to Sweden, but in every country he's lived in or visited, you'll find stories of Fawzi's kindness, his energy, his humility, and his generosity. Over the past decades, he has turned from a kid realizing that someone, somewhere around the world, actually created the games he played, and dreaming of having that job, into someone who not only worked on games in every segment of the games industry, but someone who helps others achieve those very dreams, no matter where they are.
And if that wasn't enough, and let's be clear, that's more than enough, Fawzi has a superpower. It's actually true. It is physically impossible to take a bad picture of Fawzi. And believe me, I've tried. Every snap you take results in a GQ magazine cover photo. And if you don't believe me, follow him on Instagram and see for yourself.
It's true, Fawzi, Habibi, you are distressingly photogenic. As a games industry colleague, thank you for your boundless efforts and unrelenting work in making games a more inclusive space. As your friend, thank you for your thoughtful kindness and genuine generosity. And as a fellow Arab, shukran for existing and for thriving. Alf Mabruk, ya Fawzi.
We love you, Habibi. So please join us in welcoming to the stage, Fawzi Mesmar.
Masal khair. Hello. There were a lot of examples contrary to the photogenic myths that those guys are talking about. I can't tell you guys how surreal it is to be here, to be recognized by my peers. Standing on the stage today is a moment I wouldn't have even dreamed of. First time I attended these awards, I was 22 years old, and I sat all the way in the back with my boss at the time, George Shomali. And I do remember that there was a column right there in front of us. I couldn't see the main stage, and I was watching the show mostly through the big screens. Shout out to everybody behind that column right now. And I do remember I was so in awe, and I'm thinking to myself, look at all these real game developers. Like, they all seem to know each other, they're joking around, and they're doing a lot of inspiring things and acknowledging each other's achievements. It would be great if I too can be a real game developer one day. Next to me on the floor was a box filled with like 360 demos of a game that we were working on in Jordan at the time. And it's the one that George and we've been pitching to publishers back-to-back 30-minute meetings for the 3-day leading to the ceremony. And as far as I know, that game was probably one of the first console games to be made in the Middle East. And though I've been making games for like 5 years at the time, and I've made several firsts with my friends and comrades back home, I didn't think it amounted to much because I didn't see myself as a game developer. It's hard to do so when there weren't that many people that looked like me or presidents of someone Arab that made it, for me to imagine that I can make it too. And it pains me that there's a lot of people that look a lot like me and talk like me, born not so far from where I was born, that will never see the light of day and realize their dreams. The struggle of my people has been passed down to me for generations, but the hope of a peaceful future where everybody lives in freedom and dignity is what powers me to show up every day and be the best that I can be. Thank you. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my brother Firas, who is the best of humanity in one person and has been my rock. You being here means the world to me. I love you, little bro. I also dedicate this award to my family, especially my late father and late grandfather, who both instilled in me the love of education and helping others. I grew up wanting to be the best version of both of them. My dad reading my book in Arabic and kind of getting what I do for a living for the first time is a moment of pride that will stay with me forever. Rest in peace, Dad. Thank you for everything. My sisters, Soha and Misho, I love you both, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you to my dear friends Khalid, Ala, Salem, Ruba, Afonso, Valeria, Yak, and Eric, and to my friends who are joining me here tonight. I love you all. Everything good that has ever happened to me was because someone took a chance on me. Someone believed that I was a real game developer and I could do the job. And there's so many of them that I want to thank, and I will do my best. Thank you, Khashashna brothers, Khalili brothers, Adnan, Samir Abbas, Osama Hussein, Siddaria Tarawna, Yasir Abu Thuraya, Ziad, Wajdi, Joseph, and George Shomali for believing in me and for allowing me to be part of your history-making journeys. And for the many that have worked together with me making games when everybody else thought that we are out of our minds. Asmat and Zena, thank you so much for being part of that journey and for being here tonight. Thank you, Jerome, Gustav, Clelia, Trevor, and the rest of my New Zealand crew. You're amongst the first game developers that I've ever got to work with. And we had the time of our lives doing some crazy stuff. Thank you for always sticking by my side when things were rough and for being a family for me when I was far from home. Gustav, thank you for being here. I love you like a brother. And I need to take a moment to thank my mentor, Hiromasa Iwasaki. Hiro, I will always look up to you. Your impact on the Japanese games industry is evident on all of our colleagues. Your mentorship and friendship and unrelenting support, as well as your personal career journey, is nothing short of inspiring. Iwasaki-sensei, kansha moshiagemasu. And now to the... to several of my bosses, to Yves Guillemot, Marie Sophie, David Suliani, Ahmed Salama, and the rest of the global creative crew, to Oscar Gabrielson, Vidar, Johannes Lars, and Robert, and the other guys at DICE, Philip, Duncan, George, Shudolf, Abigail, and Seb, Humam, and the many other leaders. Thank you for putting your trust in me. To the incredible design teams that I had this absolute honor and privilege to service, the hundreds of you across the world in Ubisoft, EA, ABK, Inesh, Atlas, Gameloft. I'm inspired by your passion and the work that you do every day is so inspiring for me. I am forever proud of the games we ship together. To my students around the globe, I am so honored and I hope I honored you by pushing you in the right direction. And I'm always overjoyed and proud to welcome you to our industry as peers. Rami and Osama, I love you guys. Thank you for being an inspiration for me and many others. For the Habibis and the Habibatis out there, I hope your WhatsApp group filled with stream of flower pictures this evening. So if you're sitting out there tonight and you can't see the stage because of that stupid column in front of you, know that you belong here. And if you're going through some hard times or have gone through some hard times as a developer, you belong here. I urge you that no matter where you are in your career or in your life, that you will take a chance on others, that you will help them with whatever you can afford to, no matter how little, because it will make somebody believe that they're a real game developer too. Shukran jazilan. Thank you very, very much.